Now, it's no small thing to be invited on a state visit to the United States. President Joe Biden has only hosted 6 of them since taking office in 2020. And the last time an African leader was invited for a full state visit was when Ghana's John Kufuor went to the White House in 2008. But now Kenya's President William Ruto has been afforded the honor, and he's today been holding talks with President Biden. The discussions include plans for a multilateral force led by Kenyan police officers to quell gang violence in Haiti. So why Kenya and why now?
Harris is already building a new public-private partnership to increase investments in innovation. And because our cooperation matters, it's not just for our own people, but for people around the world. If this relationship continues to grow as it is, I think it benefits not only the United States and Kenya, but will lead and will have positive benefits literally around the world. So thank you again for being here, and look forward to working with you. And we keep investing in the true strengths of our nations, our people.
I bring you very warm greetings from the people of Kenya and our brothers and sisters from across the continent. And I undertake this state visit on the background of 60 years of solid friendship between the United States and Kenya. Kenya is a young tech country, and as you have said correctly, we have spent a lot of time working with our technology companies, our technology investors. We've had twinning relationships between Silicon Savannah in Kenya and Silicon Valley in the US. And this meeting is about what we can do together around digital jobs, business process outsourcing, research and development. And Mr. President, one very important aspect is the CHIPS Act, which hopefully we will be able to have a conversation about in the coming days. Mr. President, to consummating some of the discussions around this table into concrete investments going into the future.
The President of Kenya there, William Ruto, before him President Biden. Well, our Africa correspondent Mark Bichachi has been closely watching developments, and he joins me now on the line from Nairobi. Good to see you, Mark. How important is this visit for President Ruto and for Kenya? I mean, what is Mr. Ruto hoping to achieve?
Well, first and foremost, it is critical for President Ruto because it is a political big win for him locally, having him recognized higher than every other president other than Mwai Kibaki in 2003. Also, the kind of deals that he has gotten has overshadowed the current backlash that he was facing because of the Haiti troop development. He's secured over $1 billion in direct funding in business, in infrastructure, in education, in healthcare. And therefore, he's also winning big in terms of being able to deliver on his much-touted promise to the Kenyan people that he will bring in foreign investment. He will create jobs and opportunities for Kenyans outside the country. Beyond that, of course, this particular recognition does bring him a boom of benefits, especially being recognized as a strategic security partner, as close to NATO as a non-NATO country can get. This also means that he's getting a boost in the security sector in Kenya's fight against the Al-Shabaab, but also it gives access to Kenyan forces for training, receiving of weaponry from the United States. So this is indeed a great honor, and also comes at an opportunity where the AGOA, the African agreement, the growth agreement, is coming to an end. And of course, President Ruto is looking to get Kenya ahead of the pack in having an agreement with the Americans as soon as possible.
And of course, the last time an African state visit happened in the US was in 2008 when Ghana's John Kufuor visited. From an American point of view, cast your eye into your crystal ball there. From an American point of view, why Kenya and why now? How did Mr. Ruto pull this off?
Well, it's been quite clear since President Ruto came into office that he's not been focusing east. He has been focusing west, having spent much of his time wooing the European Union, for example, which signed a trade agreement with Kenya just a few months ago. He has been to the States before, having visited the United States as president just last year. So he is a president that has also moved the focus of Kenya and its development strategy away from China. He's, for example, agreed to a deal of dwelling 473 kilometers between Mombasa and Nairobi. Then add to that the fact that he has chosen to spearhead the mission into Haiti, something that is a big headache for the United States. Beyond that is the fact that Kenya is also strategic important, Charles, because of the conflict in Sudan, the conflict in Ethiopia, the conflict in Somalia, South Sudan. Kenya is still hosting negotiations between the government and 13 other rebel groups of South Sudan. It has been involved in the Congo. And at such a time, Kenya is becoming almost like the bell at the ball, the country within the Horn of Africa that gives the West the opportunity to have a country that is stable and a country that is willing to go the extra mile to stabilize the region.
And would it be fair to say, Mark, that the significance of this visit goes beyond Kenya and will resonate across the East Africa region and indeed across the entire continent? I mean, I can see the presidents of Nigeria, South Africa, Egypt looking with some envy at Kenya.
Absolutely. This is absolutely true because of two main reasons. One, I've talked about Kenya being the peace maker within the region, and many countries in the region are having some form of conflict or the other. Second is the fact that Kenya is now being seen as the United States as a gateway into the African market. It has the port of Mombasa, which has been very useful, but at the same time, it is a partner in the East African community. It is a partner in the Africa Free Trade Agreement, which basically is making Kenya look like the entry point of the United States for trade with Africa moving forward, especially bearing in mind that AGOA is coming to an end. But at the same time, this is going to affect the region because Kenya now will have access to a partnership in security with the United States, taking a lead basically from every other African country in terms of peace and security and aid, literally military aid from the United States. So this is definitely a big win for Kenya and is going to be the envy of many African countries, but is also going to give the American trade agreement access into the wider region by simply having a working relationship with Kenya.
And of course, let's not forget the fact that it's coming at a time when Washington is losing influence in Africa. But Mark, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much indeed. Mark Bichachi is Arise Africa correspondent. He was talking to me there on the line from Nairobi.